What's up guys, my name is Brandon and today we're going to be doing a speed test comparison between the brand new iPhone XR and 2017's iPhone 8 Plus. So just like all my speed tests, which by the way, if you missed my previous two speed tests with the iPhone XR, make sure to check the cards and the links down in the description below for those. But anyways, as I always do in these tests, we're going to be doing boot up tests, we're going to be doing app launching tests, RAM tests, we're going to be doing web browsing tests, and more. So let's start off by listing the specs of both devices. So the iPhone XR of course is rocking Apple's brand new A12 Bionic chip, and along with that it has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Meanwhile, the iPhone 8 Plus is rocking the previous generation of Apple A chip, the Apple A11 Bionic chip, and it also has 3 gigabytes of RAM. So this test is going to show us just how much more powerful that new A12 chip is over the previous A11 chip. And by the way, both devices are running iOS 12.1, the final build, which by the way, if you missed my review on that yesterday, be sure to check that out. That's also in the cards and down in the description below. But anyways, let's go ahead and start with a boot up test. So let's go ahead and shut both these guys down, and then we're going to boot them up and see which one boots up first. Let's see if the iPhone XR can continue its domination in the boot up test. It's won every single one so far. Let's see if it can beat the iPhone 8 Plus here. All right, so both devices are completely off. Now we're going to tap on the side button to boot both up in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time there. Let's see which one boots up first. And we have a visual on the XR first. Once again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to win this test, but we'll see. Once again, we're trying to see if the XR can go to 3-0, and no, the iPhone 8 Plus actually beat the XR by a few seconds here. It actually wasn't even that close. So the iPhone 8 Plus surprisingly beats the iPhone XR in the boot up test. And that is super surprising because the iPhone XR actually beat out the XS and the Note 9 on a boot up test. So now we're going to go back to the lock screen and see which one can get to the camera first from the lock screen. So we're going to swipe over right here to try to get to the camera, and 3, 2, 1. And we had the square first on the iPhone XR by a good margin over the 8 Plus. All right, so now let's launch some applications and see which one can actually launch the applications first. So we're going to start with gaming, then we're going to move on to social media and some other applications. But first, let's make sure we are closed out of every single application. All right, so we have all the applications closed out on both devices, and we're going to start here with Galaxy on Fire 3 in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time like always. We got a visual first here on the XR. Looks like it's a little bit under a second ahead of the iPhone 8 Plus here. Yes, definitely not. Looks like it's about a second ahead of the iPhone 8 Plus, and it's still moving ahead right here. It's actually getting stuck right here on the iPhone 8 Plus, surprisingly. But that's not what we were testing. We were just seeing which one got to that screen first, and the XR did so. So now let's move on to Asphalt 9 in 3, 2, 1. Once again, exact same time. Looks about even right now. And the XR looks to be a little bit ahead. Again, just a very small difference, but we'll see if it starts pulling ahead more as we get more into the actual application itself. They look neck and neck right now, and yes, the iPhone XR still waiting on the iPhone 8 Plus right here. There we go. So this is actually pretty interesting because it showed that this account was logged in from a different device on the iPhone XR first. So it looked like it may have logged in on the iPhone 8 Plus first. So maybe the iPhone 8 Plus actually won here in Asphalt 9. Very interesting. So now let's go ahead and do Fortnite in 3, 2, 1. Looks about even so far with the Epic Games logo right there. And the XR takes a little bit of a lead right here. This is where we're really going to see when it actually starts up Fortnite and goes to the loading screens, which one is faster. So it's looking like the XR, you can see the bar there by a good margin. The XR is winning by a few seconds here. And yes, still continues to win. Let's see which one can actually get to the next loading screen first. The XR by, it's going on like 5 seconds now. So yeah, the XR easily won here with Fortnite. So we can go ahead and close out of here now. All right, so now let's do PUBG. Press at the exact same time. We have the same visual. We got it at the same time on both. Now it's looking like the XR is taking a lead here. We're going to go to the check for update screen. Yes, the XR still in the lead, not by much. You can see here it is beating the iPhone 8 Plus. There we go. We got to that screen first on the iPhone XR by about a second or two. And we're going to skip CSR Racing for this test because that always gives me issues with being signed in at the same time, and just the other phone doesn't load the game up at all. So we're going to skip that. We're going to go straight into Splice and do a video exporting test. All right, so we have the same 4K clip loaded up on both, and we're going to export them at the exact same time here. So let's go ahead out of this. Let's click save, and we're going to do in 1080p in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time, and wow, the iPhone XR got off to a blazing start, while the iPhone 8 Plus for some reason is stuck on 0%. I'm imagining it's going to go up real fast, but still, look at that. The XR just blazed through the export test. Meanwhile, the iPhone 8 Plus here is still stuck on 0%. I'm confused as to why it's doing this, but still on 0%. And it finally finished about 20, maybe 25 seconds later on the iPhone 8 Plus, which is really weird. I kind of feel like that was a fluke just because this application is not fully optimized for iOS, because I haven't seen that on any other device, even the older devices. But we're going to give that one to the iPhone XR there. But anyways, let's move on now to the social media applications. And we're going to start off with Twitter in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time. We have the exact same visual, and it looked like a dead tie between the iPhone XR and the iPhone 8 Plus. Let's move on to Instagram in 3, 2, 1. This one may be a tie as well. No, the iPhone XR fully loaded first, and please excuse that image. I'm actually probably going to blur that out. But so it looked about like the iPhone XR one there. So let's go to YouTube. And the iPhone XR fully loaded up first before the iPhone 8 Plus by a few seconds. Now let's go to Amazon in 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the iPhone 8 Plus actually loaded up first there. It looked like the animation actually when I clicked on, because I clicked on at the exact same time, looked like the animation was actually quicker there on the iPhone 8 Plus, which is interesting because they are both on the same version. So now we're going to move on to an application called Vivino. This is a wine application in 3, 2, 1. And it's looking like the iPhone 8 Plus came up before the iPhone XR once again. Now let's go ahead and open up shortcuts. Looked like the iPhone 8 Plus once again beat the iPhone XR there for shortcuts. Anyway, let's move on now to the camera. Let's try the camera. This will probably be the last application we do. We're going to go in here and see which one gets the focus square first. So 3, 2, 1. And we had it looked about even actually. The focus square looked about even on both of them. So we're going to go in there once again, even though it's already running in the background, and see if we have the same thing. So it looked like the iPhone 8 Plus may have actually had like a couple millisecond advantage over the XR there. So now we're going to go into the applications again and see if there's a difference in RAM here. Now both of these have 3 gigabytes of RAM, but the different chipsets may handle RAM differently. So let's go ahead and see with Galaxy of Fire 3 if we have any relaunches at all. And no relaunch on either one. They open at pretty much the exact same time. So now let's move on to Asphalt 9. And we have a relaunch on both. Let's see if the XR wins here once again. Looks like the XR is going to win here as well, but we're not testing all that. We're just testing to see which one gets a relaunch and if the other one does as well. So let's do Fortnite. And we have a relaunch on both of these as well. So this is interesting because we didn't get this many relaunches on the iPhone XS and XS Max. Let's go to PUBG. And looks like a full relaunch for both there as well. Let's go back to the social media applications. Let's do Twitter. And of course, we're not going to have a full reload there. Let's do Instagram. And looks like we have a full reload on both. We have that image once again, but we did load up on the iPhone 8 Plus before the iPhone XR. Let's go to YouTube. No relaunch there. Amazon. No relaunch there. It actually looked like it refreshed twice here on the XR, but it didn't do that on the iPhone 8 Plus. So some pretty interesting results there. Now let's go over to Safari and do a web browser test. And we're going to go to Product Hunt in 3, 2, 1. And it's looking like the iPhone 8 Plus won over the iPhone XR by at least a second there. It showed content first and it fully loaded the web page before the iPhone XR. So let's go ahead over to TechCrunch now. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone XR won this one by, once again, at least a second, but the ad actually showed up first on the iPhone 8 Plus. So very close, but I still think the iPhone XR won there. Let's go to ESPN.com, same exact time. And the iPhone XR, yes, the iPhone XR beat the iPhone 8 Plus there. So we're going to give web browsing to the iPhone XR there, 2 to 1. And actually, I want to run a speed test as well, like I always do in these tests, just to see it's not really going to make much of a difference, but I always like to see how big the difference actually is in speed tests. We're going to be on the same 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. So we're running these speed tests on the iPhone XR first. You can see right there, we got 144 megabytes of download, and we're at about 11.5 uploads. We're going to run that same speed test here on the same Wi-Fi network on the iPhone 8 Plus. And so it's looking like we're going to get past 144. So we got 148 on the iPhone 8 Plus. Let's see if we can have a higher upload on the 8 Plus as well. It's not looking like we're going to get to 11.3. So the download was higher on the iPhone 8 Plus, but the upload was higher on the iPhone XR. And just for fun, let's run an Antutu benchmark test on both of these as well and see which one finishes first. So 3, 2, 1. And we're going to run through this whole series of testing and see which one finishes first. Now we do know that the iPhone XR is most likely going to get a higher score, but we'll see which one actually finishes the test first. All right, so you can see we are just now finishing up here. We are on the QR code test, and you can see the iPhone XR does have the lead here, but not by much at all. So the iPhone 8 Plus was right on the tail of the iPhone XR pretty much the whole time throughout this test, which is pretty surprising. You can see right there, they're on the same percent right now. They're going to finish around the same time, just a few seconds in between them. I do expect the iPhone XR to still have a higher score, and you can see right there it has a 343, 847. Meanwhile, we have a 213, 447 here on the iPhone 8 Plus, and that of course is a result of the new Apple A12 Bionic chip versus the A11 chip here in the 8 Plus. So there you have it, guys. That is a speed test comparison between the brand new iPhone XR and last year's iPhone 8 Plus. So let me know which iPhone you think won this speed test overall. Also, let me know which phone you have if you have the iPhone XR, if you're looking to get the iPhone XR, or if you have the iPhone 8 Plus. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for a lot more speed tests on the iPhone XR and future iPhones as well. So anyways, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.